Oh yeah, you already know I had to cover peak fiction, cause solo leveling never miss. We got the debut of a dog putting hands on a lesser dog, who wasn't even worth absorbing screen time, Ole Manning. Jinho doing his dogly deeds with his dogly crew, even turning up for his shadow army that can't even die, but he's such a W-mans that he'll slide for them no matter the case on some W-man shit.
Type shit.
You feel me?
Yeah, boy.
Now I know y'all ready for this heat. Okay. So grab your golden Oreos and pink lemonade. Them shits fire. Now on with the heat. So Jinho's shadow army was clearing a dungeon while Jinho was standing there shocked as hell cause he never knew Jinho had such an ability. And with seeing the shadow soldiers go crazy mining crystals, bro gets on his knees, pause, doing that Yugi meme talking about some
It should have been me, not him!
Cause he at least wants to collect the essence stones, but the shadow army hogging all the work. Until one of Jinho's shadow soldiers offered Jinho stones to carry. And panning on the other side of things, we get the debut of Jinho's father, Sung Jinwoo, who just finished beating up a gang of hunters. And the remaining hunters scared as shit, but Hwan just wanna go home. Meanwhile, Jinho and Jinho were out feasting on meat, pause. And bro drunk as hell and starts going on around about how he has an older brother who's 10 years older than him, but his brother doesn't really fuck with him for real, so they never had that brotherly bond. And considering how much Jinho saved his life and helped him, he can't help but wish Jinho was his older brother. So Jinho, being a W-mans, was like, I bet starting today I'll consider you my little brother. Ecstatic as hell, Jinho's like, oh yeah, more meat on me, all you can eat. Hold on now, there was a bar, but pause. So Hwan was arrested in the aftermath of him beating up the hunters who suspected him of being a magic beast, and claiming to have been trapped inside a dungeon with no means of escape for the past 10 years until he found an exit that took him to a gate in America. But they're taking caution and isn't ruling out the possibility of him being a humanoid magic beast. So to be on the safe side, they requested for Hwang Dong-soo to put him on his ass if things turn out to be that way. But not knowing Dong-soo's really a fraud for real. Ole Manning. And panning on the other side of things, Jinho was getting ready to go back in a dungeon that he couldn't previously finish. So Jinho's thinking on how he had a level of 20 while fighting Serbius, and with his level now being triple that amount, things should go a lot smoother. So as Jinho enters the demon castle, he gets a notification saying he has to collect 10,000 demon souls. And let's be honest here, bro really got that shit on. But yeah, this time Jinho's in the dungeon for another purpose. So bro's like 10,000? Light work, no matter the number, I'll pack them all up. Meanwhile, Jinho is trying to convince his father to let him take over the Eugene Guild. And after a bit of chatting, bro's like, I bet under one condition. I heard them niggas at the White Tiger Guild was preparing a Scout Hunter song ever since the Red Gate incident. Yeah, make sure that shit don't happen. I want him with us instead. Can you arrange that? Jinho's like, oh yeah, gang, that's light work. Me and him like these, we brothers for real. Aight, my nigga. Meanwhile, back at the dungeon, Jinho finished packing up the demons. He was sure to let the cameraman know to pan on the bodies he's dropped and gradually move up to reveal him standing on the demons' corpses. Straight aura forming in a dungeon of demons. Crazy work. But unfortunately for bro, all those bodies going to waste because he is unable to extract them to his shadow army. So Jinho receives an entry permit which allows him access to the upper floors. But with the dungeon being so big that it has an entire city inside of a building, he figured walking would be a pain, so he summoned the leader of the ice bears to ride on, pause. And it started ramming through the demons, double pause. So Jinho's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna call you Tank. And panning on the other side of things, we see Cha Hae-in, who bowed bad as hell, thinking about the conversation she had with Choi Jong-in where she wanted to publicize the information on the flying ants. But Choi Jong-in can't let that happen by association's orders, because making such information public will cause a panic. So all they can do now is build their strength, but that decision doesn't sit right with her. And panning back in the dungeon, Jinho's still dropping bodies and constantly evolving as he does. And he has to reach 100 floors, so he started contemplating about a few things like his strength once he reached the top, if his supplies will last him till then, and his promise to Jinho. And as bro racks up the bodies collecting the 10,000 souls he needed to clear the quest, he makes it to the 50th floor where he brings out the gang to prepare for battle. You know Igor's the big homie, so he gotta stand out amongst the shadow army. Igor's such a chivalrous W-mans that he kneels not only after every fight but even when spawning. That aside, it would have been dope to see everyone else at a knee. Well, besides the ice bears, cause well, they're bears. So being on all fours will suffice. While Jinho and Igris both stand tall, given that Igris is Jinho's right hand man. And Iron cool and all, but he not Igris. But yeah. Meanwhile, panning on the other side of things, An in the baddie Park Hee-jin tried to get in touch with Jinho, but he wasn't home. Which his sister Jenna lets them know that he's on a trip. So An's like, with there being no trace of him participating in any raids recently, and no sign of him leaving the country either, the last trace the association has of his whereabouts is in the middle of the city. Hee-jin was shocked that he was able to find all that out. And panning on the other side of things, Jinho sends his shadow army to battle, and Igor's looking to be MVP, getting his highlight early on as he takes out multiple soldiers in a blink of an eye. And as Jinho's shadow army in the mix, Jinho's staring at the leader avaricious Vulcan like, damn, is this queso built ass ever gonna get up? But as soon as that was said, Vulcan pulled up on Igris and the gang and boomed their shit, even even his own soldiers. Vulcan moved so fast you would've thought niggas stepped on his Big Mac. Hey, fat niggas just not filled with food but surprises as well. That got Jinho heated. He flexed so hard he tore off his jacket sleeve and knocked the sonic rings out of bro. But Vulcan still got fight in him. But he started charging fast as hell, so Jinho calls out to Iron for his shield and blocks Vulcan's attack. But Vulcan started spamming, really trying to get through bro's defenses. But Jinho's chilling, waiting for the perfect time to counter. And as soon as Jinho saw an opening, he redirected Vulcan's attack and tried to hit him from the back. Again, that bar was heat, but pause. But Vulcan anticipated the play, so Jinho got the hell out of there and cooked up a plan. So Jinho started taking off to look for a good spot where Vulcan can't do all that zipping around. Vulcan big ass was kinda fetching, bro, ain't gonna lie. But Jinho turned on a jet and ran up a building taking high ground. Then put up slicing Vulcan's neck and it was game from there. Now look at bro being extra, he making sure we see the fit. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Hwan is being interrogated by Dong-Soo, who heard that Hwan is a humanoid magic beast, so he's trying to get to the bottom of it. But bro's like, nah, if you need proof, I'll run a DNA test. But Dong-Soo's not trying to hear anything from bro unless it's answering his questions. But like, who that nigga think he talking to? So Hwan's like, how much do you know about Gates and Magic Beast? So Dong-Soo's like,
bro, what are you talking about, man?
So Hwan starts talking about how the shit that is going on right now with the dungeons, gates, and beasts is only the tip of the iceberg, and that the power that'll bring forth the ultimate catastrophe has awakened, which he plans to avert. But Dong-Soo's like,
I don't give a fuck.
my nigga, we got numbers, hunters waiting left and right to get active. But Hwan lets him know that numbers won't help against this threat, and that the hunters would just get killed and used against them. But Dong-Soo still thinks bro's a humanoid magic beast and was like, it's not every day you see a magic beast with a name of its own, let alone a wife and 2 kids. So he's like, do you remember your son's name? Which Hwan's like Jinho and started looking at Dong-Soo with the intent to do him harm. So Dong-Soo's about petty as hell and was like, I'm not answering any of your questions, but I will tell you this much, your son's dead, and if you have something to tell him, you can do so when you meet him in the afterlife.
Okay.
Bro really don't know who he talking to right now. And panning on the other side of things, Igris is walking down with the shadow army behind him looking tough as hell. As Jinho's sitting on top of Matus, the god of Soul's throne, talking about some, this starting to get one-sided. You're surprised about how much of a dog my soldiers are. Bet you didn't expect things to turn out like this. As Matus staring at bro, jaw wide open, scared as hell. And Jinho cuts Matus' skull to pieces while posing for the flick. Like bro ain't even gotta extend his arm like that for real with that dramatic pause. Like calm down bro, we see the fit, no need to flex. And panning on the other side of things, the city buildings are in ruins, engulfed in flames. As we see Dong-Soo laid out on his ass for talking head, really trying to press the father of a dog. Bro got his ass beat so bad that the damage inflicted was delayed, couldn't even keep up with how fast he got beaten. Meanwhile, back at the dungeon, Jinho's journey through the dungeon came to a pause as he's now out of food. And so he starts putting on the buzz down, really flexing on the viewers. He also has the Spear of Avarice, which enhances power. But Jinho's too much of a dog that he doesn't even need to use it for himself. So instead, he'll put it to better use for his shadow mages to double their firepower. Bro really flexing the loot for real. And he opens the final reward, which is a cursed random loot box, which he ends up getting a key. But he is currently unable to use it, nor does he have any info on when and where to use it. But he's not worried about that since it's not affecting his goal, which is to gather the 3 ingredients needed for the elixir of life. Which so far he has 2 out of the 3. The World Tree Fragment from defeating Avaricious Vulcan and Spring Waters from Echo's Forest by defeating Matus, the god of souls. And just needs 1 more to finally obtain the elixir of life to cure his mom, who suffers from the condition of eternal sleep and has been left unconscious for the past 4 years. So Jinho declares the next time he shows up, he'll finish it. And yeah, that was Solo Leveling Season 2 Episode 3 and all its greatness. And you already know this episode is absolutely pure hate, a solid 10 out of 10 for me. Now, with that being said, if you made it this far, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. We moving. Also, I'm taking recommendations, bro, so hit the comments. And more heat on the way.